Master Alistair, my dear friend, there you are at last.
Master Denyo? I didn't think to see you here so soon.
Your idea seemed to delight Betharios. I was soon able to leave our temple on Bravos with a small group of followers.
The prospect of bringing the Lord's light to the lands of my birth fills me with as much joy as it does him. Your mission here is very difficult. The people will not easily turn away from the faith of the Seven.
After many fruitless attempts to bring faith in R'hllor to these lands, I think we are aware of that, Alistair.
That's not all. This town has suffered for a long time and its people are fragile. They're as vulnerable as they are dangerous.
Never fear. I've worked in far worse conditions before. My mission in these parts will be a glorious success.
Very well, Master Denyo. I hope everything will go well.
I think it shall, but I have not been deaf to your counsel.
Life at the temple in Bravos seems long ago now. I still look back with fondness at all those good times.
I often think back to the day we were visited by Master Mokoro of Volantis.
I shall carry the scars of his visit on my right arm for life. But certainly I would do it all again without hesitation if I had the choice.
That day, you came closer to the Lord of Light than most of us have ever been.
Do you know where to start? Knowing you as I do, you would certainly have a plan, Denyo.
You are right, Master Alistair. I've an idea about how to convert the people of this town to our religion. We shall not upset or dissuade them by burning symbols of their idols just yet. For the moment, I will make do with putting up pyres every evening. They tend to win over the small folk by showing them the power of fire.
It was during such a sight that I myself discovered my path in life. I must leave you now, Master Denyo. There is still much for me to do before this town is put to rights.
May you walk in the light of the Lord.
Surprised with no news.
My lord, I'm sorry to trouble you like this, but I think you ought to concern yourself with this matter.
What are you talking about, Graydon?
You heard the discussion between Lady Eliana and the other two, didn't you?
I vaguely remember overhearing some people asking for news of their father. Why would that concern me?
I'm afraid that it concerns the whole of Riverspring, my lord. The two young ones talking to your sister were looking for their father, Lord Quen Roxton. He happens to be locked away in our dungeons at the moment.
What? You have taken a lord prisoner?
Yes, on orders from your sister, my lord. and I'm afraid that it might all get out of hand. The Roxtons are a powerful family. They could do great harm to our lands if they so desired. Unfortunately, that's all I know. You'd better talk to your sister, or with the younger Roxtons. Perhaps you could even go and see their father in his cell.
I will see what I can do. Thank you, Graydon. Eliana, we need to talk.
I don't have time, Alistair. I have urgent matters to attend to.
Like finding a way to deal with the problem of having a lord locked up in our dungeons, is that it? Just the difference of opinion, you say?
How did you find out?
That's of no consequence. Do you know how serious this is? Lord Roxton belongs to a powerful house. This could result in bloodshed. How did this happen?
Lord Roxton came with a handful of armed men and started attacking our people. Ryman and his men managed to overpower them, and we threw him in the dungeons.
Why would he attack Riverspring?
About 2 years ago, when Riverspring was already struggling with debt, Father asked for his help. Lord Roxton had more gold dragons in his coffers than he did subjects on his estate. We hoped he would lend us some of his fortune so the people wouldn't go hungry. We would then have time to find a more permanent solution. Father asked for his help, but the swine demanded my hand in marriage in exchange. I was left with no choice but to accept.
Obviously, that wedding didn't take place. What happened?
Well, he did pay us the purse as promised. But shortly after, he learned that I was courting someone else. Kristen. A good man, but a peasant. He lived just behind the forge. I can assure you that nothing dishonorable happened between us. But when Quen Roxton saw me in his company, he found it hard to take.
How did he react?
He called off the wedding and asked us to pay back the money. But we had already spent it feeding the people. So he went back home and dwelled upon it for many years. When word of Father's death reached him, he came here with his men and started taking possessions from our townsfolk.
I see. So you locked him in the dungeons. I will deal with this, little sister. Leave it to me.
Be careful, Alistair. Some of Lord Roxton's men are still around the town and they are real brutes.
Fear not. I will come and see you again when I know more. Well, I should go and see the younger Roxtons. I thought the passageway led to a secret room. But it would seem that I'm in the castle's catacombs. This place must be hundreds of years old. R'hllor, hear my prayers and guide me through the shadows. This door has a strange lock. Something is engraved upon it. A Sarwic's sword is his nature, his virtue, and his honor. The latch mechanism seems to be linked to a set of notched metal wheels. There are 3 wheels arranged vertically. Words are inscribed onto each wheel. I imagine you have to line up the right word in order to unlock each one. Moreover, there's an inscription to the left of each of these wheels. I'll have a look at the first one. Some are red with blood, others are brown from rust. What color is the Sarwick sword? His sword is grey. Ice and death! The lock is stuck! I have to start over again. This... Some are red with blood, others are brown. His sword is white. I heard a click. On to the next one. An old sword for a peasant. Valerian steel for the hero. How is a Sarwick sword described? His sword is made of tempered steel. Ice and death! The lock is stuck! I have to start over again. Some are red with blood. I heard an old sword for a peasant. Valerian steel for the hero. How is a Sarwick sword described? His sword is blunt. Ice and death! Some are red with blood. An old sword for a peasant. His sword is sharp. Ice and death! Some are red with blood. An old sword for a peasant. His sword is broken. Another click. Only one to go. Warriors keep it by their side. Assassins hide it in their coat. Where does a Sarwick keep his sword? A broken white sword. That is our heraldry. The door is opening. I did it. These inscriptions. Flame and shadow. That will not work. I must have erred somewhere.